And now it's a time for a message from our sponsor, Wells Fargo. Please welcome Nate Hurst, Wells Fargo's EVP of Sustainability and Social Impact, and Lisa Mensah, President and CEO of the Opportunity Finance Network.
Thank you, Steve. So happy to be with all of you today. I'm Nate Hurst, and I'm the head of Social Impact and Sustainability at Wells Fargo. I also lead the Wells Fargo Foundation. And I'm excited to be here with Lisa Mensah, the President and CEO of Opportunity Finance Network, otherwise known as OFN. And I'm sure many of you out there know Lisa as the head of this impactful trade group representing community development financial institutions, or CDFIs, across the country. These nonprofit and community leaders are critical in getting capital and technical training to distressed communities across America, and it couldn't be more important than it is today. Lisa also has a very diverse background supporting distressed and disadvantaged communities, including serving as the U.S. Undersecretary of Agriculture for rural communities in the Obama administration. She also funded and served as executive director at the Aspen Institute Initiative on Financial Security, where she worked with nonprofits in the financial industry to promote financial health. And you may not know, but she actually started her career as a banker. So on behalf of Wells Fargo, I'd like to thank The Hill for giving us this opportunity to have this important discussion today. Here we find ourselves in the middle of COVID-19 crisis and perhaps one of the largest challenges the small business community has ever faced. While all small businesses are struggling to survive COVID-19, diverse small businesses, including African American and Black-owned businesses and Latino small businesses in particular, are facing additional systematic barriers that inhibit their growth. And this is such a pivotal time in our nation. So I really want to get to a conversation with Lisa and discussing many of these challenges and opportunities as she's on the front lines working with these small businesses every day. Lisa, again, welcome. I really appreciate your time and you joining us today. Can you start by sharing OFN's approach and the role that CDFIs are taking in addressing the impact of COVID-19 on small businesses?
Thank you, Nate, and thank you to The Hill for putting some more attention on this beautiful field of community development financial institutions. It's so great that so many people are actually learning this acronym because this is a CDFI moment. We now have a national crisis where you need lenders who will lend into this crisis and lend hopefully our way out of it. We have this deep and long history at supporting the communities we serve with our capital. We're small business lenders, housing lenders, affordable facilities lenders. But on the small business side, we're having a moment because everybody realizes the lenders matter. You have to be able to get closest to our smallest businesses. And this is something Wells Fargo has long understood and partnered with us. So I think what's critical about CDFIs is that we take the time, we are capital plus support to industries. We're about 1,000 CDFIs across the country in all 50 states. Some of us have been at this for decades. And what we are doing is bringing that loan capital, giving that extra time, even in this pandemic, so that these businesses can thrive.
And there's so many businesses in need out there, Lisa. How do CDFIs decide which small businesses to help? In particular, how do they grow minority-owned businesses?
Yeah, well, the whole mission of a CDFI is to support businesses right in the deepest pockets of poverty. And so they're very rooted institutions. So you don't have to look far. When you go and visit the Black Business Investment Fund of Florida, they're in their community and they have a 30-year track record of already knowing how to find. They invest, they make follow-on loans. So often what they're doing is starting small. Sometimes there's a chapter of, before you even get to a loan, of critical support, of kind of a consulting role. What is it that you need? Is it a marketing challenge? Maybe you don't want to finance the full expansion of a business. So we are actually lenders who can go an extra mile. Most of us aren't lending on a credit box, we are actually still kind of in-person lenders, or virtual lenders at this stage. But that's what really allows us to take a minority business, which may have been denied from another source, and really sit with that business owner, understand where they're trying to go, understand what their creative idea is, and then support them through sometimes multiple loans to get through and expand their business. That's the kind of lending we do as a field.
Lisa, in the small businesses I talk to, we still have a long way to go in this economic road to recovery. What are you hearing, and what do you see the needs being is the next step as we continue to progress and ensure that small businesses get back on their feet?
Yeah. I'm so glad you said ensuring that they get back on their feet, because this battle is winnable. And for so many businesses, they will be able to pivot, but they need lenders who are equipped for the fight. So I really think this is a moment for the federal government to invest, like you have, in our CDFIs. We have $1 billion appropriation request in front of the Congress right now. And I think this is a bipartisan area where we know if we support the kind of lending that CDFIs can do, we will leverage those resources 12 times over. And I think this is really something we can do. We've proved that dollars in the hands of CDFIs matter. And the private sector has stepped up. You've stepped up, Wells. Google stepped up. Others have stepped up. And I think the challenge now is to marry those private resources with the federal dollars that will allow us to really lend out of this crisis. And that's why I don't think we should give up. And I think we should just double down on the systems that are needed to really carry our businesses forward.
I couldn't agree more, Lisa. And I would say that what you touched on is all three sectors coming together towards a common vision and purpose is I think what we need, at this this difficult time that in our country's history. So having, nonprofits that really know where the need is, having the financial resources and the scale that government and large corporations have, particularly in the finance sector. I think us all working together and putting all politics aside is absolutely essential to get the U.S. economy back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. We know what to do. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Thank you, Lisa. I'd be remiss if I didn't take this time to learn from you a bit and be able to take it back to our business. As you know, small business is one of the strengths of Wells Fargo. We've been in that line of business for quite some time, and we absolutely believe small business is part of the backbone of the U.S. economy and can help stabilize and grow the economy faster than any other sector. But when you look across the country, you see the fight for economic equality. And I think it's really important as we look to grow the business, our business, that we grow in the right way. So what advice do you have for Wells and frankly the entire financial industry to take away from this moment? What needs to change to address the systemic issues that small businesses face with the financial industry and make sure that they're getting equitable support?
Yeah, I love the question. Thank you for asking it. If there's one thing we've learned from this time of crisis and really reckoning with old systems of injustice and with our health crisis, is that it takes partners who will stay the course. So my first advice is stay strong in your partnerships. And I want to honor what you've been doing. You took your PPP proceeds, your fee income from that, and you plugged it back into the CDFI industry and other small businesses. You created an Open for Business fund, and that's a testament to the seriousness in which you treat partnerships. You're a huge bank, but you can't do it all, and you need partners. And so I want to say, keep leaning into the partners who are needed in this country to move the capital. What we've learned is that we're a sophisticated economy, but the economy needs the kind of capillary financial systems that CDFIs are. So stick with your partners. My second part is lean into the fair, responsibly priced small business loans. This is a sector that we shouldn't give up on, and your reach will always be huge. And so the more you come to market with fair, strong products, it will support our small businesses. So partners, fair products, and a willingness to tackle and to listen so that you're tackling these old systems of injustice with partners. That's my best advice. And I think you've already made a big down payment on that. So,
well, thank you so much, Lisa. I can guarantee you that Wells Fargo is not going to give up on small businesses, and
so glad.
really appreciate your partnership and support right out of the gates with the Open for Business Fund, and making sure that those much needed funds are getting distributed to those small businesses that need the most, particularly those hit the hardest by COVID-19 and minority-owned businesses.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Great to be a partner with all your work. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Nate and Lisa, that was a terrific exchange. I really enjoyed it, learned a lot from it. I particularly liked how Lisa said, in this time, what we need to do is keep small businesses afloat on their feet. This is a time of crisis. This is hopefully, as friends of mine have said that are in big business, they've said there will be another side to this. So I really appreciate that perspective.